Overnight, the U.S. carried out a large-scale strike against Venezuela, capturing the country's president, Nicolas Maduro, and his wife. Thanks for joining us on News 5 at 4:30. I'm Megan Glova. Here's what we know so far. NBC confirms Maduro is in New York, set to be flown to jail before a court appearance as soon as Monday night. This all happened just a few hours after a series of explosions hit the country's capital, Caracas, earlier today. Now, the U.S. has been ramping up pressure on Venezuela for months, assembling a huge military presence in the Caribbean, intercepting two fully loaded Venezuelan tankers, and killing dozens in boat strikes, which the U.S. alleges were carrying drugs. President Trump also pressed Maduro to step down, telling NBC News last month he was leaving the possibility of war with the country on the table. He spoke this morning, recapping the operation. Scripps News Group's Haley Bull reports.
At Mar-a-Lago, President Trump praising the U.S. military's dramatic capture of Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro, achieved with no loss of U.S. life.
An assault like people have not seen since World War II. It was a force against a heavily fortified military fortress in the heart of Caracas to bring outlaw dictator Nicolas Maduro to justice.
The president's remarks following this stunning overnight raid. U.S. special operators swooping in as explosions rocked military facilities in the capital Caracas and beyond. Grabbing Maduro and his wife Celia Flores, flying them out of the country, then onto the USS Iwo Jima. Trump posting this image of Maduro in handcuffs. This as the Department of Justice unsealed a new indictment in New York charging Maduro with narco-terrorism.
For their campaign of deadly narco-terrorism against the United States.
Attorney General Pam Bondi promising Maduro would face, quote, the full wrath of U.S. justice. But there remain urgent questions about the legality of the overnight raid, coming after dozens of legally questionable lethal U.S. strikes on alleged drug-running speedboats. President Trump now insisting that the United States is in charge, not ruling out American boots on the ground to control the coming transition, stop the drug trade, and support U.S. economic interests, especially when it comes to oil.
We're going to be running it with a group, and we're going to make sure it's run properly. We're not afraid of boots on the ground if we have to.
And in Venezuela, state TV showing footage of damage amid tension and uncertainty now on the streets of Caracas. Scripps News international correspondent Mary Trini Mena is there.
A state of emergency is being implemented inside of Venezuela. They are asking people to remain in calm.
For Venezuela, the big question is who will take over now. The vice president is technically in charge, and other powerful Maduro allies, like the country's interior minister, remain in place.
Causado por el ataque criminal.
Do not give in to despair. Do not make things easier for the invading enemy, the terrorist enemy that cowardly attacked us.
The wild card, Venezuelan opposition leader Maria Corina Machado, whose party won the 2024 presidential election in a landslide, a result that Maduro refused to accept. Machado now calling for her party's candidate to immediately take over. Trump saying the U.S. would be in control of the process. Haley Bull, Scripps News Group, Washington.
And during an hour-long press conference with his leadership team, President Trump laid out exactly what happened in Venezuela, adding he's not afraid of U.S. boots on the ground. International correspondent Mary Mina has more from Caracas.
Well, first of all, as I was listening to President Donald Trump, what he was saying about 150 airplanes participating, helicopters, it was remarkable how that appears to be what really happened, because if I remember what happened during the early hours of the day, it was something like that, like I hear multiple planes and helicopters and a rumbling loud sound in Caracas for about 45 minutes. The reaction, there's no immediate reaction from Venezuelan government officials. We heard from them early in the morning. We haven't seen them because they have appeared on national television over the phone, but not in presence. The state channel keeps sending a message of tranquility, of peace, showing images of the country in peace, and also saying that some government supporters are gathering in areas where Nicolás Maduro is receiving support, like the west of the city around the presidential palace in Caracas. So far, most people have decided to remain at home or to buy some food in those places that are still open, like pharmacies or supermarket. but the majority of Venezuelans are following the news through international channels like CNN. The flow of information usually keeps running easily and more freely through international TV stations in Venezuela. And we need to remember there are more than 8 million Venezuelans abroad living in outside of the country that have migrated, and they have many family members calling them and telling them what they are seeing through international channels.